Hello, it's Mia, and it's warm outside, and I'm inside. I was supposed to be studying, and I ended up studying, watching videos, and playing music, records, which I cannot really play while I'm recording, because last time I had some really old record, kind of dancey from the 80s that had Kraftwerk on it, and I was testing out the new cartridge, and I don't know, everything that I fixed for my sound system that took me 8.5 years, and I end up testing it out, filming myself in 3 different episodes, and I end up trying to upload one of them, and immediately as soon as it got uploaded, it said that some person I never heard of claimed it as a copyright violation through YouTube, so I immediately removed it and expected to be in trouble. So I feel like if there's any background music in any of mine, they try to say that if you actually, there's no way you could say, I guess you can't really have background music playing, but I do have ways to make my own music and some recordings that I made, but I'm all paranoid even with that, because how do I know some weirdo's not just going to claim a copyright and report me, and then they say after 2 you could get, or 3 you could get your account deleted and you have to take some class. I don't know, but I'm paranoid to even, I have some of my own stuff that I recorded, like from a keyboard and stuff that's not anyone else's music. But anyways, I guess I forgot about that because all of my DJ days, some of the records will say you can play publicly and some clearly said you couldn't. So I just have to review what to do, and it was fun playing records and showing my kids what I used to do, or what we all used to do. And I'm sorry, I'm looking outside for light, but I'm standing there in the window pointing at my phone at the playground, and it's I don't want people to think I'm actually recording them. Anyways, I am supposed to be making a fast video because all my videos are too long. I was wearing cargo pants, unwrinkled, green, newer pants. When you look from the front, you can't see the cargo side pockets, and from the front, it was good fitting pants. Although I gained 5 pounds in a week from stress and eating homemade buffalo jerky. Even though I'm doing raw food, I put them in the dehydrator, as well as been eating raw cheese. That's probably not, and a lot of salt. That and the stress, I already knew I gained weight. I tried these pants that were super tight, and I was oh my gosh. But I had an inspection Friday, and I had clinic on Friday, and I didn't get my kid to school on time, and the other kids stayed home and keep staying home, and I have priorities and deadlines, and so I put on these pants, which I specifically ordered for clinic because they follow the dress code. All it says is you have to wear a skirt that's at your knee when you sit, and I don't ever wear skirts to my clinic shifts, and you have to wear pants that are not wrinkled and that fit, which most of my other pants, they're super baggy, huge. I don't want my underwear hanging out or tripping over the pant leg when I walk up and down the stairs. Shirts, they don't care if it's t-shirt material. The head of the clinic told me this, all the things I could wear. I have my hair in braids now, which I used to have dreadlocks, so they were not very healthy, and I didn't have a good way to wrap them up at night, so I ended up having very thin hair, which I ended up cutting because they said you can wear a hair cover, but they won't tell you what kind of hair cover that is. So I just cut my hair because it was very unhealthy, because I don't always, it's just taking care of kids and being in medical school and being single and moving every 6 weeks to 1.5 or 2 years and not having any help with the kids or child support or anything. Sometimes they don't always think about, let me just fix my hair so it doesn't fall out, because with my African hair, it's very delicate. Anyway, so I just want to say that I got in trouble twice this year. Before I started clinic, which was hydrotherapy, I went in 3 times at least to talk to the head of all of our clinics about what material I can wear. I said, I know a lot of people wear polyester and rayon and all this stuff, but I have allergies. I get super sweaty in certain things, but I don't want to be stinky. B, I get like a serious rash. Like I'm making myself wear this. Not making myself. I'm wearing this scarf. I'll get a rash if I start letting it really touch my face. I'm like a turtleneck. I mean, who wants to go into a medical clinic and see somebody that's like obsessively sweaty, that smells funny because have an allergic reaction, and then like completely covered with a weird rash? It's not worth it. So I told her, a lot of people, they do dress up and they're wearing a lot of different materials that are shiny and they're not silk, but they're silky looking, or nice smooth pants that don't need to be ironed and all this stuff. And I'm like, I need to wear cotton pretty much. I could wear silk or something, but it's harder to find. I mean, like this sweater, I pretty much got out of a free pile. I can't really wear it, but it's partly silk and partly wool. I mean, you can find stuff, but like I didn't go and pay $100 for a brand new one that actually fits. I got this out of the free pile because the material was something that I could handle. Some of it's artificial, but hey, it was free, so, and I've been wearing it for years actually. At home, yeah, not in public. I just want to say that I was very upset. I was very shocked. People have been wearing yoga pants and raggedy, like, they're maybe really borderline denim type pants where the bottoms are all worn out. It looks like they had them for 15 years. Now, I have clothes, like I have my dad's silk pants from Vietnam, from the Vietnam War, that I don't even know if he wore them. I wore them a few times. They were handmade in Thailand. I'll show them one day. They're really nice. Like, if those fit me, I'd maybe wear it. They're like bell-bottom style 60s, 70s pants. So I'm not trying to make fun of people. The thing with me is I keep changing clothes, or keep changing sizes. When you lose 50 pounds or 40 pounds or 5 pounds and all your clothes are too big and they're falling off and you have a dress code, it's like, okay, I'll buy 2 or 3 things that I can wear for the dress code. After I've gone through this lady at least 3 times, I've talked to her more than 3 times. I've talked to her in the hallway. I've talked to her after class, making sure, oh, look at me. I highlighted the entire book that I read, the entire student manual and the clinic manual. I ask other students, like, I don't care. I don't read the rules. I'm not going to, what are they going to do? Kick me out? They don't care. But for me, I already feel like I've been pressured. People pressured me to quit, and I feel like I don't want any question that I'm doing the right thing. So basically, I had this Nordstrom rack. I guess when you look at it, it was kind of gray and blue. That's the problem. Sometimes you buy something that's a gray color and is made out of knit. It could look like a sweatshirt. Basically, t-shirt material nowadays with women's clothing, I've been finding a very difficult time. Even for my daughter, having a difficult time finding, I mean, we're even ignoring the material, just finding a dressy outfit that's not just knit or some piece of junk that you can see through, or some outfit, when you wear it the first hour, it falls apart in 3 or 4 spots, even if it fits. Not that, not saying that's too tight, but I'm in this situation right now where I keep losing weight, and I've done this thing where I'm like, I used to win contests in my first weight loss group as one of the newest people in there. It seems like it's easier at the beginning. And someone's like, you know what I did? I put this money aside, and then after I earned enough, I end up going to buy clothes with the money, which you can't really buy too much, but it was nice. I was getting everything from free piles, and I couldn't shop at thrift stores because it was too expensive. Occasionally for uniforms, not uniforms, but like kids' costumes for their plays or field study, I bought some corduroys and a leather coat, for like $6 or whatever. A couple of things I bought like that for costume purposes, or because I was getting my kids we needed a certain costume. We needed brown pants. We needed certain things for their schooling that I didn't necessarily want to. I mean, some of the stuff is hard to find in a regular store. And sometimes you go to a regular store, all they have for kids is like sweatpants, or like shiny sweatpants. You can even get the cotton ones, barely. Blah, 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 blah. So I was used to getting clothes in the free piles. Literally, I lived in a homeless shelter 8.5 years ago, and there was a room that I didn't even know about for the first several weeks. They're I lived there 6 weeks. For like over a month, I didn't know about it. And like, don't you know about the room like under the stairs? Like, no. And basically you walk in, and on the floor is like dumped all over, underwear and all this used stuff. I was in a homeless shelter. I had no money. I even had like a part-time job, but it wasn't working out very well. Hey, you're homeless, you have 2 kids, one's in diapers, what in the world? What is your priority? Food and diapers and gas, so you can get somewhere. So I was getting my clothes and my underwear from those places, socks, everything. Another agency that I was involved in also found out about that room. Have you ever been in that room? And basically had the same thing. There's just like stuff dumped over. I mean, it wasn't like terrible and stinky and rotten, but it wasn't. I mean, it was just piles of stuff. And basically back then it was, does it fit? Can I get it on and fasten it without my guts bursting or, the buttons falling off? Because I was gaining a lot of weight. And if I could get it on, I didn't care what it looked like. I didn't even look in the mirror for like 5 years after I left my ex-husband. I am not kidding. Then I started looking in the mirror and seeing like something stuck to my face or my hair sticking all up, which it still does, I'd look in the mirror and be like, oh my gosh, my stomach is completely hanging over, which I was gaining weight. That was one of my, I have to lose weight thing. Or I would like look in the mirror and see like a big snot in my nose and see my sweaters buttoned wrong because I was always in a hurry. I still am. And it was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe that I never looked in the mirror for this long. I mean, I was so broken, so like some jerk telling me how horrible I am. And I had dealt with being beaten several times when I was a kid, so I don't want to really talk about that. The whole point is there was a lot of junk that happened in my life from a young age on to even now. So now I'm like, well, people already tried to get me kicked out of school. See, people were failing me for tests. When I went back, it was fake. It was a lie. Like, no, you could think that I'm over-exaggerating. People would be like, yeah, right, you're just over-exaggerating. No. I still have these tests. I still have the red marks that said it's wrong. And if you look at the notes and in the book and anywhere, you'll see my answers right. They even write the same thing that I wrote is written. They wrote the right answer under my answer. And I'm talking they'd write like a few words versus my paragraph. But still, I've even had the teacher literally say, all of those were marked wrong and you failed the test. But I won't, that's the grader's fault. They always say that. It's the grader. I can't do anything about it. I'm like, what? So you're going to make me fail your class because you know that these answers are right. And that some jerk that's a student 1 year ahead of me. I'm not saying all of you graders are jerks. Everyone makes mistakes. Or maybe you don't want to read my lengthy answers. But I've gotten in a habit. I've had a mistake of missing questions because I asked the teacher, do you think I wrote too much? Like, do you want me to explain this further? Like, no, what you have is fine. And then you get it back completely wrong. They give you like a quarter of a point for what you wrote. And then you can see what you erased and you can see them write that in red on the side. You're like, seriously? I mean, if anything, I should have just shut my mouth and stopped writing. If I, sometimes I'm like, well, people mark me wrong because I wrote too much, so let's write less. I mean, I see other people's tests. Not looking at other people's tests, but afterwards they would be like 3 words for each answer, and then they'd have like 100%, and I'd be like totally thorough because I thought I was really stupid, but I found out I would memorize everything the teacher said, everything the note said, and I'd be like, oh, this has to be like this has to be like this, da, 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 da. And there's occasions I'd get stuff mixed up, but I overdo it, and I really have. If you overdo it, you can fail. They said that for boards. If you overstudy, you can fail because you overstressed. I really overstudied, so I can tell you the answer of what grade I got on the board exam right now. So I got in trouble for wearing this Nordstrom thing, and I'm thinking, oh, really? It looks like you're wearing a sweatshirt. And we all wear white coats in the clinic because we have to. And I talked to the leader of the clinic. She's like, yeah, we just want you guys to look professional. And basically, they say we want to know the difference between the students and the patients because it's hard to tell. A lot of students, they all look the same to me. They are the same age. They laugh the same. I see my friend, and then I'm like, turn around, and then she turns around, and I'm like, wait, I have to say something. And I look into a crowd. I'm like, oh my gosh, everyone in front of me, it's like the same height, the same weight, the same hairstyle, in the same clothing color and style. I'm like, never mind. Because you don't want to shout in certain like place like that. You want to say someone's name or tap them on the shoulder. Like, oh wait, I forgot. It's like, wait, everyone looks the same. I'm not trying to say everyone looks the same, but it's happened many times where my friend would turn around and I like lose them in the crowd of people that look very similar, and so I have to be careful. Sometimes I go up to people like in their face and like, is that really my friend? Because, and most of my friends are, they're different races. I'm not saying, oh, I only hang out with people different. Most of my friends are somewhat unique, just meaning that it does, whatever circumstance, whether it's a class or whether it's like, I just breathed something in my nose, sorry. Whether it's a class or whether it's a clinic shift or whether I meet them in the hallway. Like one lady, there's someone in my group, we worked on this thing, I don't know who she is, and I asked the other person, I asked this person 3 times, well, I'm like, what color hair does she have? What height is she? What does she look like? She's like, well, I don't know, she had a crutch this week. I'm like, oh, a crutch. So I see this lady walking back and forth in the hallway looking like just spaced out, and I'm like, with a crutch. And then I see like several people behind me with like crutches, with like pairs. So I'm like, okay, who are you? I'm like, ooh, this lady is totally not the same lady. I'm like, oh, well, so nice to see you. I'm like, oh, I see you around the halls, and I don't really, it's good to meet people like that too, because it's, in our society, we don't necessarily just, you see that I have seen this person she said she'd been there like 7 or something years, and I've been there almost 4, so it's like, oh, it's kind of nice to know this lady's name. At least I don't know her name anymore, I forgot. At least I can go up to the hall, oh, how are you doing? So I may have figured out who that person in my group is, but I'm not really sure. I can't tell you offhand. But I just want to say that it wasn't in the rules. I normally, when I get to the clinic, I wear clothes. Like, I'll wear a nice shirt, and then I'll wear like a sweater that I'm like, if it's cold in there, I'm going to wear this and then my white coat. But typically, like, some rooms are really cold. Typically, you're running up and down stairs, and it's like too much. I have a small size coat, and it already is too tight, and everything is not, like, I'm still overweight, but I wear size small. Everything just doesn't look right, and plus it's like, if you have like hips and you had baby and like stretch marks in the belly, it just doesn't really look like everyone else that's like 21, 23 years old. So I usually take those sweaters off. A lot of times I'm like, oh, let me wear the sweater over it, because I'm wearing this from like 7 in the morning till 8 at night, and the clinic starts at a certain time. It's like, in case when I eat my lunch something falls on my sweater, I can take it off and have my nice shirt on underneath, which they're not really all that nice. They pass the clinic. Basically it's because of the material, like I said, and it's because of allergies and not getting rashes. I wear certain things, and I even bought a few items that I like at the thrift store, but you can't have perfumes. They smell like detergent. Those things, a lot of times I have to wash them like 10 times before I can get the smells out. So anyways, this video is already longer than it was supposed to be. I just want to say that I'm tired of getting in trouble. There's a person, I'm not going to say a lot about this, but there's a person who made, this happened where I live. Let's just compare it like this. You move in somewhere, you make an agreement, you read the rule book, you read the lease if you live somewhere, you read the rules of a hotel. We moved to the city. We had 2 birds, and all the hotels we went to were like, no pets, absolutely no pets allowed. And it was too cold to leave them in the car, like 2 parakeets. And we're like, dude, we knew the rule. Sometimes people that don't think that they behave very well, maybe, you're not behaving well, but you know the rules. That's the thing. You know the rules and the consequences, so you kind of take risks. Now I want to know the rules and don't take a risk. That's the thing about now. So back then, we're like, no, we're not going to move into this hotel for a week because we need to bring those birds in at night, and it's like no refunds. If you get caught breaking the rules, we're going to kick you out. So a lot of these times that day, which is actually September 11, 2001, we did not stay in any of those hotels because we didn't want to risk the breaking the rules. Consider asking for exceptions, but you have to be careful with that too. Just like here, I get permission from the leader of the clinics, and then I still am told by somebody else that you're not following the rules. And then I freak out and think, oh my gosh, they must have just added that rule yesterday. Like in my mind, I'm totally like, oh my gosh, they must have just changed something because I just reread the student manual twice this term. Like, literally. Like, I'm not even joking. Like, when I came home, I couldn't find it, and I looked it up online in 2 different spots and compared them, and they are exactly the same. And then I noticed, oh, no wonder my book's not on the shelf because it's on the stool next to me because I was just reading it. So that's part of my problem. I read the stuff and know the rules, and then someone tells me it's wrong, so I think, oh, I didn't get the memo, or they must have passed out an email that I didn't get. So it happens. And so I went back and looked at the rules, and it doesn't say that you can't wear cargo pants. And it doesn't say you can't have a hooded, it's not like a hooded sweatshirt. It was like a hooded Nordstrom style, big shoulder. I mean, with women's clothes, if you want cotton, I feel like it's difficult to, if it's either going to be a button-up shirt, which don't always look right on me, or it's going to be a sweater, or it's going to be like a knit top, and, you know, you could get like flowers or something. I'm not just going to get a t-shirt with the name of a sports team on it and wear it to the clinic, although, according to the boss, you can wear that under your white coat if you wanted. But I didn't want to even, I'm not going to do that. Anyways. I really want to do the right thing, and then I come back home kind of feeling like, wow, I really messed up. They're going to kick me out. They're going to fail me. So I read the entire school book again, looked it up in 3 different spots about the dress code, and it didn't say that I couldn't wear the pants. So I guess they weren't dressed enough. And it's hard. It's like I came from a military family, and the point of the pants is, these pants were helped. There's been so many thefts at my school that these helped you carry your wallet and your cell phone. Because women's pants, the ones I wear, do not have pockets big enough to carry stuff in them, if they're even real pockets at all. The dressier the pants, the less the pockets work. So there's been so many thefts. Cars, in the hallways, my friend left her teacup on the counter and the computer. She went to her car, realized it was gone, turned right around, it was gone. Someone stole a stupid teacup. Someone else lots of people left their iPhone, they sat it on their locker, went downstairs, and like, oh my gosh, turned right around, it's gone. So it's like, there's a kleptomaniac or a bunch of them. Like, sometimes when something like that happens, you don't necessarily, after 3 minutes, don't just find it gone in a school as small as ours. So it's kind of creepy. It would be hard for a thief to just roam through the hallways. It wouldn't be hard. I guess that's what they're taking they're looking for opportunity is what it is, like a kidnapper. They're looking for opportunity. Opportunity comes, they're going to take it. So in the clinic, they've been going through bags in office buildings. Every few days, someone will run out of their own office, inside of an office building with many people. Someone will leave their purse and they come back and find the money and the credit cards are gone. So someone had time to rummage through it, grab it, and leave without being noticed. So that could be either somebody that belongs, or somebody doesn't belong who's good at, coming in and out really quickly. It's kind of creepy. And with my skin color, and I slightly don't conform to things. I just want to say, I grew up in a military family. I learned with my family, you get something sturdy and something that lasts a long time, so you don't have to keep on buying it. Plus, I bought so many dress pants when I started school. I was like, oh, we're doing business class. Oh, we're doing this. I need to represent medicine and my own business that I am going to open. Within an hour, the pants split up in 2-3 spots, or the buttons would fall off. First used, like the little metal clasp kind of buttons. First time I wore them, they fell off. And you're walking around without a belt, without anything to hold your pants up, and you got to be gone for 8 hours. This happened to me so many times since I started this school, and it's annoying. So I got the Dickies brand off the internet, and I took a chance on the sizes. I think I got one pair at Walmart, and I was like, well, so far these haven't fallen apart. I had a pair when I was in college before, so I just got those pants. And they are work pants, and they're sturdy, but apparently they're not dressing up. This is what my aunt said. with my skin color and the way people act, some people act, you got to work twice as hard. I mean, I got to get twice as many questions right because they mark my correct ones wrong. I mean, they used to do that all the time during elementary school and junior high. They'd always be like, anyone have any questions? And I'd go up, excuse me, but I have this answer right. Or this math answer is 18. I have 18, you marked it wrong. Human error, I don't care what it is. But it's like, if I know I didn't erase those answers. And I've had stuff graded at my school where I've been graded by a TA and it has a lot of answers correct, or most of them, because I know I studied like a crazy person. And I come back and the instructor, who didn't even watch me do it, will end up, there's like some kids skateboarding right next, why did I just skateboard right next to my car? I'm about to go out there anyways. Why can't they like go on the other side of the street? I'm sorry. But it's like, anyways. It's stressing me out. That's why I don't like looking out the window that's why I went outside. It's like 65 degrees and sunny, and I went out on the back porch, was talking to myself and praying, and there was a guy on a ladder standing there on the other side of the fence. And I'm like, seriously? And then I was sitting there with the blinds wide open because my daughter actually saw the sun, and there was men coming in and out of my yard right next to my window where I opened everything. Which, you're supposed to give notices to residents for that kind of stuff, but, yeah. And then I went out to get something out of the car, my school books, and my car was completely covered with plastic wrap. Like, plastic wrap. I mean, they were painting, so it's fine, but it's like, sometimes you're like, wish somebody would knock on the door and be like, hey, we're gonna, like, touch your car and put, like, masking tape all over it. And all the dirty spots will be even more dirty looking, because there'll be, like, clean spots around it. Anyways, I don't want to break the rules. It really stressed me out last night. I was going to finish a paper, and I was so stressed. I was calling people and calling my dad, bothering him again. And I said, what would either my dad or God tell me? They'd be like, don't wear those pants anymore. And what would I tell myself? And what would my aunt tell me? You got to do twice as well. Just because all the other people on your shift wear tennis shoes and denim pants and oh my gosh, seriously. Now some kid is like riding his bike. They're not supposed to have bikes. Who cares? They're not supposed to have bikes and skateboards where I live. There's like a whole mess of yard of them. I'm not going to go report them because I tried that before. But it's like, why do they have to be right next to my car? There's a huge street with no cars. Or their own cars. Why do they have to be next to mine? Anyways. This is my whole trying to focus. So right now, I just virtually ordered a couple of pantsuits, because apparently in the community clinics, according to rules, which nobody ever said they do this, you need to wear like a jacket type thing. And so dress pants to me means non-jeans, non-denim, non-raggedy, non-sweatpants. And people on my shift wear tennis shoes and stuff, which is not allowed. So right now, I'm telling you the truth. I want to wear the dress pants somebody gave me. They're too big, or they're freezing cold. They're like polyester and stuff. Dry clean only. I've been trying to hem them because they're all 6 inches too long. And I'm doing a horrible job. Like, I feel like if I go in there raggedy like that, with these big old baggy, I tucked these in. They got fake messed up pleats that cause lines to go across the crotch area. I'm like, seriously, I'm trying to hem these fancy dress pants, but I wore these ones that fit me perfectly, that were the right flare leg, and to me they look professional. You're wearing shiny. I even polished my shoes. Hello? I polished my shoes. Like I said, I grew up in a military family, 21-year veteran. Polished, ironed, washed. Iron my coat, wash my coat, and do, all this. There's three things. Pants. I better just wear these stupid fancy pants, whether they're polyester or not. And I tried wearing, like, tights and stuff under some of my pants, and it pulls in this weird, like, static cling thing that looks like one big elastic chunk. Like, it didn't look right. It was not really, but, I might have to settle for something like that. I want to look in the mirror and say it's okay. So I'm going to order some dressier pants and some form of shirt that doesn't cause me to be overly sweaty, yet I have, like, tattoos, which are okay, but, for me, maybe it won't be. And then my hair, with the braided style, I usually wear a scarf around the front, or put this, now it's long enough to put the back in, like, a ponytail type little little knob thing. I'm just going to do that every time. And I've got the clearance for everything that I do and all the clothing, including the t-shirt material. I've been approved by the boss of everything, but I'm being unapproved by someone who's going to make my grade, whether they're going to pass me or try to send me home. So I virtually ordered from one website like $350. And like my earrings, I don't really like that much. I'm like, I should just wear regular dangly earrings or stud earrings that actually match, not just one mismatch one. For me, if I was a different type of person, and they already said I'm scary looking, the same person who's bugging me, if I want to be able to fit in with these other people that could wear their pajamas to shift, I need to dress almost formal and with pants. And I've gone to Burlington Coat Factory, I've gone to all these stores, tried on pantsuit. They're just not made for my body style. They're not made, they're like super short. The skirt that has a slit that goes all the way up to my hip bone or to my greater truncator. It's like, I can't wear this stuff. Plus, even if I wore it to church or something, I'd be the one to get a big split in it or forget to cross my legs or something, which I don't like doing. After I had kids, those kind of clothes disappeared because I was busy picking up junk off the floor and having babies, my son doing temper tantrums and rolling all over the store or crawling between the clothing racks at the store. I wasn't about to be wearing these skirts with slits, and if I want to maintain my composure, I need to wear some pants that aren't going to split down the middle either. So as you can see, I'm still distracted by this. The biggest complaint that I have is, I'm a Christian and I need to be forgiving and I need to do what I'm told to do. But my biggest issue is I've been told I wasn't doing what I was supposed to do, and then I went and reread the rules. And what other student? I bet you out of all the hundreds of students, I bet you not one went over there 3 times to ask for dress code approval. Because I told her, I was like, I lost a bunch of weight, and I still have 10, 20 pounds, 30, whatever at the time to lose. I can't be going out. Some people might have a lot of clothes. A lot of people in the school were professionals before they came here. I was living in a tent outside for part of, I don't even know if I had a change of clothes. I know I think I had, for years, I had a pair of Doc Martens and maybe a pair of sandals. Maybe. I didn't even remember wearing shoes. I think I kept shoes in the car just so I could go into grocery stores and not get kicked out. I don't remember. I don't even think I owned a pair of socks, to tell you the truth, for many years. And this is what I want to say. I know this is longer than I thought. What I really wanted to say was, my parents didn't raise me like this. They got my mom got my hair straightened. They picked out school clothes. The first part of the year, we came home with a carload of school clothes, and it was mostly from the Base Exchange. Where I live, there were no other stores. They built a Kmart, and we bought stuff from there when they first opened, and everything fell apart. The first washing or shrunk or was all weird, crooked once you put it in the dryer. And then we'd go to Saginaw once in a while to get school clothes, and Alpena. So we'd end up getting school clothes several times a year, and we'd go visit. And that was up north in Michigan. And my mom, we'd go to concerts all dressed up, and my mom would be like, look at those people wearing blue jeans. Those people don't know how to dress. I just don't know how to dress. And then we'd be all dressed up. We probably weren't formally. We were probably just wearing corduroys or something. We weren't necessarily. It was cold up there. Probably bundled up in all kinds of sweaters. And we'd go visit her relatives, and they'd be like, you got to get your hair done. You got to get some new clothes. You can't be wearing that. And my dad would give me makeup. And I'd always have my nails. Sorry, I was out digging in the yard. I admit that. That's why I don't like digging in the yard. I'm like, they're going to tell me that my fingernails are dirty because I'm out there digging for onions. Sorry. But yeah, they would have me be clean and have my hair done and have my clothes right. And I'd always be ironing. That's all I remember from young age up. Ironing clothes. We'd always be going to the dry cleaners and getting stuff. And for a while, for my beginning of my growing up, and then And then in high school, I got sent to Blue Lake Fine Arts Camp. I was an artist, not a musician. And there was the city kids that weren't really, I was from, like, up north. They were, like, the suburban kids, and they had, like, their style, and, like, one girl was there, it was a 2-week camp. She had been there for, like, 2, 4, 6 weeks. She had a huge pile in the middle of the floor with, like, everything you had to wear there was blue. She had, like, 100 clothing items, that were all blue, and bell-bottoms and all this stuff. And I had started getting into my mom's bell-bottoms and her big old leather boots from the 70s that go up to your knee, and they're tight, and they got big old wooden heels and stuff. I just started getting into this stuff because I wanted to be different. I didn't want to dress like everyone else. You hate it when you live in a small town. Everyone's shopped at the same mall in Saginaw, which is 2 hours away, and you go to school the first day and everyone's wearing the exact same orange shirt that you just got, and you're like, oh my gosh. I like to be unique, and I'm also was the only person of color, so some of these clothes I'd be like, man, my butt looks too big, or different. I mean, I didn't mean to say all this stupid stuff, but it's the truth. They didn't fit right. The clothes didn't fit right, and the shirts looked too baggy because, you know, it just, they don't make clothes. They do make clothes for different shapes of people, but I remember in my small town, there wasn't many blacks. I'm not saying all blacks have hips or anything, but I'd go try on I never had a date for any proms or anything, for any other dances. My mom made a point to get me a dress, and we'd go to the dress shop, and I mean, mostly I guess it was for wedding dresses and bridesmaid dresses and a few party dresses, and I remember they would go in there with you. This is old-fashioned. That's when they used to put my shoes on. When I tried on shoes, they would put them on for me. You can't even get help. You can be lucky if you can even find the pairs of the stars now. They're all scattered all over the place. There's like 3 yellow cabs out there. And some of the neighbors are cab drivers. I don't know how they get 3 taxi cabs here at the same time. The same guy. I'm trying to figure that out. They just moved in. Anyways, there's at least 3, if not 4. There's usually a few cabs parked out front. I feel like I'm in New York City. I'm not. Anyways, they used to be like, oh my gosh, we get all these girls in there, and we have to take in these skirts because they won't stay up. It's like, you have hips. Wow, your skirt, you have like an hourglass figure. It actually stays on you. And they're like, come here, like getting the other ladies, come here, look at this girl. And I'm like 14, 15, 16. Look at this girl. I was probably 14, 15, 16, because I graduated when I was 17. Anyways, this is a lot longer than I wanted it to be, and my memory is totally full on my phone. I just want to say that I'm trying to follow the rules. I came from a military family. Friday before shift, she had told us in the extra 4 pages of rules, or 8 pages of rules that she made up, in addition to whatever rules the school actually made up, that we need to get our assignment and go to the room and set it up and clean the doorknobs. No, I already cleaned the doorknobs. And she said clean the doorknobs, so I said I'll clean the doorknobs and I'll clean the light switches and the computer mouse and everything else that I can clean. And set it up, so everyone was just sitting there the other day, so I ran around the back quietly, set up my room. So, and I know they don't notice stuff like that, but I just stepped out of the room and went and set it up. Well, everyone else is sitting around. I'm like, well, I know she told us that we're supposed to set up the room. No, she didn't need to tell us that. I did that anyways. I don't have time to sit there and be like, oh, our patient's there. We better go, figure things out. I wanted to be ready to go. A lot of people are really chill, but I want to be ready to go and be organized and do a good job. I've been a patient at this place for many years, and there's stuff I didn't like. So I said I'm not going to complain about it, but I will learn from the mistakes of others and do a better job so that these people actually feel like humans and not like scum of the earth. This was one of those cabs. I just want to say that my parents brought me up differently. I went to this camp, and kids I saw people from different nations. I saw a guy that described himself as Hebrew. I think his parents were speaking in Hebrew, and I was like, this is amazing. I'm like one of my good friends with part Filipino, and I know there was different languages and accents I was used to around a military base. There was that Korea thing had happened before that. There was a lot of people that went overseas and had different wives, usually from Asia. So I was used to kind of that. But it was just a different culture, and it was a suburban culture, and these camps had been really expensive. And it's like you have to get a note from your teacher to get approved for that. Hold on. So, let's shut my kid. I just don't want my kids being like, what is she talking to? Anyways, they brought me up different, and I thought that yesterday. And I stopped, after that, I started braiding my hair instead of getting chemical straighteners every 3 to 6 weeks. And some of the chemical straighteners, I got those curl things, right? Because I was swimming all the time. I went to family reunion, I was still, me and my kids are the only ones swimming. And there was only 2 other people from the family reunion that even came outside in the sun. I'm like, son! Which, that's a whole nother incident. Somebody was making fun of a Native American billboard that had people tanning. And my daughter's like, well, one thing about these people that have darker skin, how do you think they got dark skin? By being out in the sun. Hello? And I'm like, I tan more than anyone. If I were at the beach right now, as soon as the sun comes up in the morning, I will be out there with a tank top and shorts. And I will be out there jogging, and I'll be out there with a towel stretched out. The cocoa butter. Like, sun. Until some freak show's dog comes up to me and is not on a leash. That's when I start getting nervous. There's different kind of people. All growing up in the small town I lived in, in Michigan, there was all kinds of lakes in my backyard. There was lake downtown. There was rivers. I was canoeing. I was out there sailing, wearing swimsuit all the time. I remember summer getting up. First thing I did was got my swimsuit and run into the lake and sit out there tanning with my friends and putting cocoa butter on and getting sunburn. And that's how I was raised. So now when the sun's out, I'm like, that's the first thing I did this morning. Sun's out, I'm out there. So I don't understand why this person's like, this is the racist billboard. Only my white friends respond to why this is racist. I'm like, you've got to be kidding. It's like, just that statement itself is racist, saying only my white friends can respond. And I responded twice and deleted it off Facebook. And I was totally like, I probably tan more hours than any of you people. It's like, that's the way I grew up. And everyone around me was a different race, and they all were tanning as well. You know, and that's just how I was raised. If I was raised riding horses or motorcycles, or like I said, in the military family, wear sturdy pants that you can bend down, and, we're doing surgeries, we're doing stuff. Sometimes I wear a lot of times I wear combat boots and cargo pants, olive, drab, green. And I'll get stuff from, I have a navy cap that I try not to wear. And I'm already the only black person where I go. And I'm wearing this stuff because it's wool and it's strong and it can be washed and ironed and dried and not shrink and not fall apart. And I'm wearing these combat boots, and I'm like, I wonder if people think this looks scary. I'm like, I'm only wearing it because I grew up in an ex-military family. But the basic reason I'm wearing it is because I really like the material. Because it doesn't have that spandex junk that, always, when you dry it 3 times, your pants, turn into this shriveled up, who knows what. Same thing I was describing. So, yeah, right now, I need to get off, because I left a record on. I'm hoping it's one that will actually automatically turn itself off. I need to follow dress code. I'm asking a relative to help me purchase a few items and a pair of regular earrings, and to overdo, I just replaced my clothes, all clinic ready, and now I feel like I have to step it up another notch and get another, I put on the cart polyester and all this weird material. I don't even know if it's worth me buying it, but if it's risking my grade or my graduating, then I'll wear whatever. I'll wear a prom dress if they want me to. So basically right now, it's I learned when I was growing up, you learn the rules, you follow the rules. You don't need to make a big deal. In the society I live in now, people do stuff that they're supposed to do, and they brag about it. And they look how good I am. I'm learning, I need to do, and I don't always not followers, I don't always do what I'm supposed to do. When I'm supposed to do my homework, I do it. I don't need to go brag about how many hours I spent. Usually at school, they brag about how few hours they spent. But when I'm in clinic, I don't go brag about cleaning the doorknobs. I don't go bragging about the fact that I got the patient water and they had remember to tell them where the restroom was, or whatever the situation was, or give business cards to them before the doctor told me to give him a business card. Oh, it's already done. I've already given them the business card. I don't tell them that. I just say, okay, yeah, in my mind, it's already been done. I just agree just so that they understand that I understand that what needs to be done. So I have a hard time really speaking out because I don't think it's necessary, but it's necessary in order for them to think that I'm not failing these classes in these clinics. So right now, a lot of relatives died of cancers and different diseases, had a lot of straighteners and different chemicals, soaps and face things and chemical clothes that didn't breathe well. And, you know, when you wear different hairstyles and stuff, it's hard to go to the gym, it's hard to work out, it's hard to go swimming. A lot of my mom didn't want to be in the sun, so she put chemicals on her 100, whatever, SP, I don't even, whatever the, what is that stuff, sunblock. All this stuff is toxic, pretty much. She ended up with leukemia, and a lot of my relatives had cancer and did the same habits and the same chemicals, always surrounded by chemicals, chemical cleaners, chemical detergents. All this stuff gets into your skin and gets in your blood and gets into your DNA, and it alters it. So I told the person, I'm like, I don't put chemical straighteners in my hair, and that's why I don't look like Michelle Obama with straight, long hair. And I'm not saying that every person on my of certain races have curlier hair, but I do. My daughter's hair is a lot straighter than mine, but people still make fun of her. The kids, because they don't understand that people are different. So I need to step it up a notch just because of the fact that I'm being watched like a hawk. And there's going to be no question. And I almost felt like, let me just wear sweatpants and tennis shoes like everyone else. Maybe I'll blend in better if I dress like. But I also don't want to do that. People wear mini skirts barely covering their butt, without pantyhose, with open toe shoes, in a blouse that goes down to their belly button, and you're like, they're not getting told. But I don't want to be them. I don't want to compare myself to them. But I want to know, if someone's going to enforce something, can they not enforce it with everyone? And not pick on people who are actually following the rules. I think people think that I'm weak or something because I'm so quiet about things. They think I'm weak, so they're going to be like, and then they did this with my kid. Oh, your son did this, your son did that, blah, 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 blah. They're like, it's not that your kid is always messing up. The kindergarten teacher, it's not that your kid's always the only one messing up. It's just that you're one of the only parents that actually listen to me and change things. And it's like, what? It's like, why can't you just tell everyone else? Like, my son got beat up. They called me while I was at work. And had me say, oh, your son's in the principal. Oh, what happened? My son's in the principal's office. And I find out he's beat up. I found out the other kids didn't go to the principal's office. And his parents weren't called. They didn't even know that the other boy beat my kid up. And then they blame me because I said my son should have put up a hand, like in martial arts, to block himself. Like, don't bring that kind of violence. And my kid's getting beat up. And with the teacher in the room, he's getting beat to a pulp. And he's 5. Why should he not? Martial arts isn't about going to be a bully. Martial arts is about protecting your butt from some jerk. My kids are like me. We're so, passive, I guess. We're just let them do it. Because if we put our hand up, we might accidentally hurt them. They might accidentally break a nail if we put our hand up. That's just poor teaching on my part a lot of times, because I feel like I'm always being watched. So it's like, if someone were to beat me up and I were to punch them back, it's like, measure 11 or whatever, you're going to automatically go to jail for 3 years. So it's like, what do? Run. So I start taking up running. So I'm serious. I started taking up running after I did many years of martial arts, and that's part of the reason. I don't run that much. But that is the reason I do run. I've always run since high school. But the part of the reason is you can't even defend yourself. You can't raise your kids. You can't get doctor's notes and actually there's so many things in society. It's like some people that actually are tearing up, and bank robbers, they're getting away with this stuff. Murderers, they're getting away with multi-murders. Car thief, wallet stolen, credit cards, when they are signing my name, fingerprints, and video surveillance camera showing these people shopping with my credit card at several stores. You're going to identify every single person that did it. You're going to know exact time. You have a surveillance camera of that person. You're going to know exactly who did it. But do they care? No. They let those people get away with it, so they continue to rummage through our bags. Who is it? The cereal is in the cabinet.
Okay. I looked at all that.
Well, I'll be down in like 2 minutes. So, anyways, this is super long. I really wanted an 8-minute video. I just want to say that I'm going back to that whole thing, preppers. There's stuff going around us. There's political things. I got people coming in and out of my house. I live in, like, housing owned by the city. I got people coming in and out of my house without my permission. On a regular basis. I had people in other places taking photographs of my stuff on a regular basis and putting it into my file. This stuff that's supposed to hit the fan, I'm seeing stuff happening in front of my face. You know, one of my tutors got her backpack robbed while she was vacuuming her car. And my other tutor, within a few weeks of each other, had her backpack stolen and all her stuff was sold on Craigslist, which she saw. The police didn't care. They could catch those people at their house or wherever they were selling the stuff. All you do is call a number and be like, oh, I want to purchase that, all that stuff. And then you meet that person, you know that's a thief. And she can identify her stuff. She could describe the color. Her name's probably in her, whatever stuff that she had stolen, credit cards or whatever. They could track those people. It's like the people that are citizens, we're working hard, you know, our school, we are paying a lot of money for medical school, a lot of interest. Stuff's going on around us. The price of food has gone up. Batteries and even socks, stuff like that has gone up. Price of gas. I'm paying well over $4 a gallon every week I get gas. It's just, there's, like I said, even having these people that work for the government come in and out. I've had some people are talking about DHS and different things. Like, this could be a different DHS. I don't know. But I've had these people do surprise home visits. I wasn't home, but thank God. But they left their card on my door. So it's like they're watching. These people are watching us, and I feel like a guinea pig type person. I'm living in funded housing, and I see them taking away my rights. I see them coming in and out of my house with my children under 18 home alone. I see them leaving my doors open and unlocked. Who knows? They could put surveillance cameras or video. You know, who knows what they did? They could have stolen my stuff. So I just want to say that we do need to be careful. And I'll just tell you this one thing and go. This happened 15 years ago, maybe. It's hard. I don't want to add it up right now, but it happened in the 90s. I was robbed by someone I know. This happened to me more than once, and I figured out they used my PIN at an ATM and withdrew all my money. And I had to think, there's very few people that I hang out with, and there's very few people, at college age, I didn't have much money in the bank. That money was for a ski trip. There's very few people who saw me at the ATM. This person was at the mall with me one day. Oh, let's go to the mall. Oh, look at me, I have to go to the ATM. And she stood behind me going like this. And I'm like, what? She's a little too close, but she has a different culture than I was. And you think, well, maybe that's her culture, smaller space bubble. And this person ended up stealing my money. And I found out about it. I found out this person had an abortion, which cost about the same as the money that was stolen. I didn't tell my parents. I was embarrassed. And this person came in and out of my room to get me for dinner. I leave the door open for her. And back then I didn't have like a wallet, stuff. My card was sitting on my desk. And I didn't have money, like I said, so I wasn't using the card every day. Like now I want to make sure my cards are in my wallet on a daily basis. Back then it's like that money is only for, and that was when ATM cards first came out. Anyways, like I was in the dorm. We had food and stuff. We didn't have vehicles, so we didn't need a debit card. And we had, I'd take the bus to get to the mall anyway. So yeah, I just want to say that I was blamed for the theft. The stealing of the money. I was blamed. I was threatened to be thrown in jail. And on and on and on. It was scary. And there's several times I've been accused of things or blamed for things. Sometimes I've been followed around stores. Most of the time I'm followed around stores. And when I need help, they don't help. There's some foreigners or different people that seem a little more neutral about different people. They don't judge you by your skin color, but most of the time where I live now, and a lot of places in the country, that where I grew up, people would run us off the road, literally, and the cops would pull us over all the time. All the time. So I just want to say that it's hard. You want to enjoy your life. Don't let these people destroy your life. But I think through my life, I've seen stuff happen in front of me that is clearly wrong, and nobody admit to it. No one will back you up, and you're left on your own. And with me right now, I have 2 children and a guinea pig, and I am fighting to get through my medical school. I'm fighting to even get my kids to school and take care of them. I'm fighting to take all 3 of us to church on a regular basis. And it's a lot of work, and I see stuff happening around me that shouldn't be happening. I have a good memory. I remember my daughter and my son both all memorized everything. I know I said 2 minutes. He said he's going to be waiting. So I just want to say that just be careful. And I think when people start messing with me, I try to say, who's my allies? Even the people that are my friends, sometimes they turn on you. But I say, in a time like this, I can't let, the devil isolate me from society. I need to still, the neighbor kids riding their bikes, when I go out there, I'm going to say hi to them, nice bike. Because that's like what God wants me to say. That's what God will tell me to say. Just say it. I mean, I'm not going to go out there and holler at them. Then they bash my window in. But it's like, I need to find out who's allies. I need to find out who's just being themselves and not realizing they're bothering me. If I don't tell them they're bothering me, then it doesn't matter. If they're making my grade, I don't need to tell them that they're bothering me. So it's getting really dark all of a sudden. So I may or may not post this, but all I know is I need to figure out a way to change this micro SD card and get some more memory. And I will be making shorter videos because I will be using timers in the future.